Greetings, this is Chris Reimer, CFO of Scorch Agency and Chief Shirtologist of Rizzo Tees, and I am extremely excited to be where I am at. I'm in Milwaukee visiting my brother. My whole family's up here, and I had to come to the social media mecca of Milwaukee, that being AJ Bombers, and I'm here with the boss man, the man, social media guru, Joe Sorge, and he has graciously allowed me to come in and ask him some questions, and I've actually just had, what was that burger called again?
It was called the Berry Burger.
The Berry Burger.
It is quite exceptional.
I had a
by a Twitter user as well. Now, before we get started though, you were talking, and I thought you were actually going to say, so I'm here with my brother from another mother. I really thought that's where you're going, so I'm glad.
Oh my God, this is good.
Not disappointed, but you know, here we are. Thanks for having me.
You have a piece of peanut on your face too.
Oh, thank you.
It's right here.
I appreciate it.
You look good now.
Hold on. What about this?
That's fantastic. You look like Aaron Neville now. This is good, right? But no, the first thing I want to say is, no matter what you guys do with social media, I feel as though you've got your product down pat. You have killer food, good atmosphere. I ate here a week ago, and I just ate here again, a burger with peanut butter on it and bacon and cheese. And this place is a social media geek's paradise. So I feel like you got the product down right.
Okay.
Which is fantastic.
Thank you.
I think we can agree that nothing would happen without that.
Yeah, I do agree. Without the product, it's nothing.
How did you get started in social media? Did it happen before AJ Bombers, or did it happen after the restaurant started?
You know what? It almost happened at the same exact time. So we were working to open AJ Bombers in March of 2009. And in February of 2009, we have my wife and I have a couple of other restaurants in Milwaukee as well. And someone was telling me about Twitter and telling me about social media in general. So I ended up at search.twitter.com, entered Swig Milwaukee, which is the name of one of our other restaurants. Found someone having a discussion about Swig there, much to my surprise. So first lesson learned there, you know, whether you're in social media or not, people are still talking about you. So once I saw her speaking to me, or to the restaurant, about the restaurant, I signed up an account for Swig, called Swig Milwaukee. And really, I just took the time to thank her for her business, and she responded back with a lot more detail about her experience. And once I looked a little bit further and realized she had, you know, several hundred followers, and we were headed into a recession, it was clearly a way and something that I could probably wrap my head around, put my head down, and do some work. I'm not sure what's up. Over there. That has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Much as I wanted.
Hey-o! Cool. Hey, I heard you say in the Chris Brogan video that this business was built by Twitter. Where do you think you guys would be at this point right now without social media? Where do you think AJ Bomber specifically would be?
You know, I think it would have suffered, not really suffered, it would have suffered more of the traditional slow growth without social media. We would have had to go through the same process every other business does. You know, I consider myself to be a little bit of a creative person in that, you know, I have a feeling for what people like to see, and we had built some pieces in this restaurant that sort of lent itself to ownership and lent itself to there's some unique features. This is a peanut delivery system that really generates some word of mouth on its own. So, you know, I feel like we would have had a successful business on our own, but really all this did was amplify word of mouth and get a lot of attention. Now, granted, the national attention certainly didn't help, or didn't hurt. It did help. But, you know, this would be the same business, it just would have been at a much slower, more traditional growth pattern.
That's one thing I think that we both want to stress is that, you know, again, great product. He has industry experience. You don't want to compete with him in Milwaukee on burgers, honestly. He's got enough experience to be able to do this well. And this is a very cool place. You can see there's peanut shells on the ground. It's just a very fun atmosphere to be in. So I think we can agree. I mean, social media is helping you a great deal, but at the same time, you were already good at running a restaurant.
Oh, sure. Thank you for saying that. I mean, it's all I've ever done. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 11 years old.
Wow.
So, and my wife and I have been in Milwaukee for 10 years and have had 4 or 5 different chain bars and restaurants and special event spaces. So yeah, we are lucky enough to have been good at it before, and we talked a little bit about that earlier. before we started the interview that having a system in place and having a good product was probably the most important part of a social media program, in that if it was bad, all it's going to do is shine a worse, a bigger spotlight on a bad product, and your business might be over faster.
Now, as far as your social media usage, a lot of people are always interested in, they want to be able to measure, they want to measure ROI, this and that. How do you have ways of knowing when patrons are coming in via social media?
We do. We have a couple different ways of, I think your question has to do with measuring. So, first let me give you this example of measurement. So we do a lot of work with Foursquare, and part of the venue page at Foursquare has to do with tips and to-dos. In other words, user-generated data about he's sneaking to grab his beer. User-generated data about their experience at the restaurant. So very similar to a Yelp or something like that. Well, we introduced this Berry Burger, and we saw our customers talking over and over and over in the tips and to-do section about their experience with the Berry Burger, and then all of a sudden, we noticed about a 30% increase in the sales of the Berry Burger itself. So it was one of the first things we were able to show that there was this capability to put some sort of sales program in place for social media and actually measure it. So that was probably the first way that we measured it. The second thing that we did was, I'm a person who uses Hootsuite, so I leave lots of columns up.
Yeah.
And one of my columns is the search for what is produced when someone checks in. So every time someone checks in, I know that they've checked in because it produces the same general tweet if they share it on Twitter, which about 58% of our customers who check in on Foursquare push their check-in to Twitter. The other half of them, if you're already a Foursquare user, odds are you're also tweeting when you're here. So I'm monitoring what they're doing by using Hootsuite, and then if they're a first-time user, we have a little code. It's called the Red Peanut Carpet, which I think you were given the Red Peanut Carpet when you arrived, and we actually have a Red Peanut Carpet at the front door. But that's how, we track what they're saying and what they're doing. A few people have described what we do with social media as engagement at the point of experience, almost so that if I'm not at the restaurant, any one of the restaurants, so I can treat you the same way I would were I standing right at your table.
In your opinion, when you started using social media for AJ Bombers, how long did it take you to see and feel results? Because very strange things happened. I mean, a full year went by between the time we opened and started to use Twitter and Foursquare, and then the Chris Rogan interview. But within those first 4 or 5 months, we started to build a Twitter following, and those people sort of spread the word and amplified word of mouth. So it probably took us 6 months to really see some results from the campaign. Cool. This is something that I'm always interested in asking. Has your heavy involvement in social media helped you find great employees? Absolutely it has. And I wouldn't say it's a requirement of our staff to have, but we've certainly hired, as a matter of fact, Emily is behind the bar right now. Emily was hired as a result of social media. I made friends with her before ever coming here. And it's one of those things where if you're an employee here and you don't have a Twitter account, as a matter of fact, one of our servers, whose name is Beni, was being picked on pretty often about her lack of having one. And so on the fly, I created her an account called TweetListB. And now she's absolutely addicted to it. That's her Twitter name. But yeah, we found great employees. We've, maybe more than we found them, the work that we've done has helped us attract great employees. Okay. That's probably a better way to put it. Yeah, that's what I was most interested in. We talk to clients all the time about if you put out great content, people may find you the kind of employees you need. Absolutely. So I'm really glad to hear that. And I assume then that their support of your social media efforts through their own channels really helps the restaurant out. And again, it's so similar to how the real world works. I mean, you hire staff for a restaurant who are going to, you hire employees for any business, they're going to bring clients in. So I was already interested in hiring bar staff or restaurant staff who had a following, and now they just happen to have a social media following. So, it's a little bit bigger boundaries. You had mentioned that you use social media to put out, coupons or specials for the restaurant. Is that still true? I do. Let's be very honest. That first day, and speaking with Chris, I was incredibly nervous because I really probably didn't appreciate the gravity of the situation, nor did I expect him to pull out that camera and start to record. So
it's funny because when I see me say that in that video, I get a little upset because I can't stand the one-way style of communication where restaurants or bars or whatever company does just sort of that one way, this is our special, whichever it happens to be. So yes, we do some of it, but I tend to do it a little bit different way, you know, by...
But your tweet stream is so diverse. It's not 100% buy my burger type of thing.
It better not be 10% buy my burger.
So don't you think that you could easily, you know, give your 7,000 plus follower specials and not have them, you know, dislike you for that?
You know, absolutely, I believe that, and honestly, I hope those same followers know that. I mean, they're the ones that ask me what the special is that day, what special sandwich we have, or you know, I see them here enough, and I'm just going to reward them on my own.
Yeah.
Hey, let me buy your next burger. Hey, let me grab the next round of drinks. You know, we have a Twitter TV up here at the bar, that second TV closest to the door, and we. Very often, because we know our Twitter fans are watching that, we'll very often buy a round for anyone who's paying attention to that tweet, which is a pretty fun way to do it.
That is great.
But while we're on the topic of Twitter TV, Jason Falls actually was in town in May for a conference called Ungeeked. And he was one of the first people to see that TV and say, do you see how risky that is? Do you see that all of your customers who have a bad experience, and if God forbid they were, now are going to, you know, project that to all of your other prospective customers? And I honestly hadn't considered it.
Yeah.
But truthfully, there's a lot of power in how you handle that end as well, you know, from a problem and a problem-solving standpoint in the public domain. It's pretty powerful stuff and something we're certainly doing.
You'll bust your butt to make sure they don't have a bad experience. That's part of the
absolutely. And if they happen to, you know, I'm quite sure that I can make that right.
Have you guys done any, two more questions, have you done any traditional or outbound advertising such as TV, radio, print, direct mail?
There's something that you could not know about me until this interview, and that is I do not believe in interruption style marketing. I am a permission marketing guy. Everything that we do for our companies is on an opt-in basis. I do not want to talk to you as a customer unless you want to talk to me. And some people see that as a mistake. That's how we do things. I have not spent, you know, I probably sponsored some things, so I've spent a little bit of money advertising, but I probably, in the 18 months we've been open, have not spent more than $250, $500 on any kind of advertising.
Wow.
Certainly not interruption style advertising.
Impressive. That's very impressive.
Thank you.
No, because we have clients that are doing some of that advertising now, and we don't necessarily advise them to get rid of it, because if they happen to drop it and everything goes to hell, you know, oh, that must have been because we're not doing that print ad anymore. But
and then it's back to that with and not instead of thing. If it's working for you already, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing it. I just don't happen to believe in it as a con. The point is, interruption marketing, you know, in general, not quite as effective as having the permission to talk.
No, I agree. Listen, dude, thank you so much for talking with me. I do want to wrap up and say, again, the things that Joe, I think, is doing extremely well with social media, high degree of interactivity. He is on these accounts. He is responding quickly. He responded to my LinkedIn connection request quickly. He is a believer in this medium, if I can quote him correctly. And I just believe that if some of our clients can devote themselves to this medium, I think they'll see incredible results. And dude, I want to thank you again for having me
It's
in.
great to have your patience. I know you're here for like several days. We kept missing each other, so I'm glad to see you on a Saturday night.
All the burgers are hella worth it. Cheers, man. Take care.
Thank you very much.